Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Beatrice Ajayi. I'm an artist based in Glasgow in Scotland in the UK. And here on my channel, I love to share with you guys here on the channel what I get up to in the studio, the different subject matters that I like to address and cover, and also the different processes I use in my artwork. I love to use a range of mediums. Sometimes I'll mix them together, and I just love the different fluidity and flexibility of the different mediums and the way that you can use them. So welcome to my art lab. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back, for spending the time. Please do share with friends and family so that we can encourage each other on this creative journey that we have. So now, first of all, I want to apologize because last week, Easter Sunday, or Easter holidays weekend, I did not post a video. The kids have been on their holidays and I slowed myself down considerably, didn't post as much, and I should have been organized because I did have videos ready, but I did not finalize those videos to be able to have something for you that weekend. So as I said, I'd like to apologize for that. And I've been trying to think of the different things I could talk about here on the channel. Anytime I'm sharing my artwork with you, my art process, as you can see, I have started on this character in front of you. And I've been really enjoying doing portraits recently. And I'm really keen and aware that I want to start adding a mix of different cultural, characters into my work. And so I'm trying to lean more into that and make sure that I'm covering the bases for myself personally, to see myself represented in my own work, and just that practice that I'm working on of creating portraits, just being aware of all the different faces and that we have on this planet. So that's what I am navigating at the moment. And I wondered what else I could talk about while I work on this art piece here in front of you. And one of the titles I thought I could approach, or one of the topics I could approach, would be that role of being disciplined in our artwork, or being spontaneous. As a creative person, we have like stereotypes of being, well, quite messy if you're in the artist category, whatever that means. But I know that we can still be very organized as well. There are things that we will not allow to be kind of like in a careless way. For example, we all have different characters within the creative sphere, and people just make assumptions that we are just messy. There's so many different stereotypes when it comes to artists. And a lot of them is wrong, to be honest, because we are actually very organized where it matters. For example, obviously we need to have our tools for our work, or we can't create our work, whatever that may be. It might be that you knit, it might be that you dance, you sing, you play instruments, painting. We have to have our tools. If you are someone who's knitting, you have to have your knitting tools. You have to have the wool or whatever string that you use for your knitting or crocheting or weaving. There's so many layers of that as well. So every single sphere of creativity requires some kind of organization. We can't just be careless in every area. We do require a level of discipline. So how does discipline work within our creative spontaneity? When is it that we can be, have that burst of creativity and then have that routine? Like, for example, routine could be when we wake up. Routine could be that we make sure we wash our tools or care for our tools. Or routine could be that we make sure we get certain equipment, or we have to be disciplined in certain areas that will allow for the rest of the creativity to work. We have to have specific paints or colors of paints, or fabrics, or specific instruments, and or shoes. I was thinking about if we're dancing, in order to effectively navigate and also to execute what it is that we want to do. So we do have that side of being disciplined within our creative sphere. And maybe some of us haven't thought about that because we are feeling like sometimes we're just kind of falling from one thing to the other, just tripping over ourselves in the way that we organize things. Like, the reason this is coming up right now is because I am currently tidying my studio. I have done this so many times that the kids are like, "Mom, you're at it again. You are rearranging this space. It's completely different every time we come into this space." And the reason that this keeps happening, this continuous kind of push and pull of my space, is because the more I'm working in my space, the more I'm learning who I am, the more I'm understanding what it is that's important to me. And that striving for reaching what it is that is driving me, the vision that I see, is what is pushing me to organize my space. And this is the thing. It's like I have this hunger for efficiency, for discipline. And the more we push into our creative sphere, we will get closer to that, because the more time we spend doing what it is that we love creatively, the more time we'll understand ourselves and what it is that we love, and the more we will end up removing all the things in the peripheral. We'll push them away because they are not our focus. Once we've used all the different mediums, which is why I encourage us to use different mediums, we'll start to understand what works for us, what through our vision, what it is that we want to achieve. Like, if you're playing instruments, you could try all the different instruments. You can see what happens, and you can start to see what it is that you love to actually play. When I was younger, I had the opportunity to learn to play the piano. I tried that for a while, and it wasn't sinking into my head playing this piano. I just kept thinking I want to play the guitar. That was something that just popped into my head. I don't know when, in between me taking this piano lessons, which I took for a while. I just had this hunger to play the guitar. And so at some point I went to my mom and I said, I don't want to do the piano anymore. I want to do the guitar. And so I started doing the guitar, but I think there were a lot of things at play for me when I'm looking back and seeing this, because I know that the guitar is probably what I should have followed through on. I should have stayed the course on, but I ended up stepping away from that as well. I think looking back, it's a different conversation that hit me there about the guitar. I'm the oldest of quite a lot of kids, 8 kids. And I think I had an awareness of how much my parents were spending on my lessons. I also had a thing about my confidence, not feeling like I could actually play the guitar. Everything takes time, and everything is a struggle. And as a young child then, I didn't understand that aspect as well. I wanted it to be a lot faster. So I would say that apart from my patience and understanding that this would take time, and then being keenly aware of probably how much I feel it cost taking those lessons. Because every time I think about those times when I was taking music lessons, the one thing that's always at the top of my head is how much it costs per hour or half hour. So I feel like the monetary aspect of it was something, for some reason, that was stuck in my head as a child. And also the fact that it was going to take time, and that my parents' money was being spent on this thing that would take time. And so I pulled back from that. So part of this conversation of discipline and spontaneity, there's a lot of layers that can put us off from thinking that we're capable. The discipline takes time to learn how to navigate our journey, our creative journey. And part of that is the joy we get from being creative. And if we don't push into that and we don't spend the time in that creativity, then the discipline side of it, we won't reach that, because we wouldn't have formed a pattern of consistently working at something in order to understand what works and what doesn't work. I'm sure trapeze artists or people who work in a lot of kind of like gymnastic sports and things like that, yeah, they have to learn about their body. They need to learn about what they need to strengthen. Then when they are in the middle of that, that sport where they have to lift themselves, throw themselves in all sorts of directions or hold their body weight, they've trained those parts of their body. They've come to understand how to use the tool which is their body. They've learned how to adapt and navigate what works for them and what helps them to achieve their goals. And so sometimes I'm thinking about my art and my creativity and my journey, and I'm trying to think of what is it that's working for me, what is it that is hampering me. And so you slowly start to gain an understanding about yourself when you push into that, when you allow the space to have that journey, to go on that. It's like if we were to travel somewhere, obviously you have to organize, you have to have the discipline to pack what it is you need to take, you have to book your flights or your train ticket or whatever it is you need to book to get to your destination. You have to be there on time. You get there and then you can relax, you can enjoy yourself, and then you need to make that same discipline on your way back. You need to make sure you're back to the station or the plane on time, and then you navigate your way. So there's always some level of discipline that has to be found in every single thing that we do. And I think that naturally, as we push into our creative sphere, whatever that may be, there is a level of discipline. So it's not that we should go around thinking we're just a chaotic mess and that we can't achieve things. We can achieve things. It's just about understanding who we are, what our vision is, and allowing ourselves to go on that creative journey. I think it's really important. So yeah, that was kind of what I was having mull around in my head as I was thinking about rearranging my studio yet again, and also working on this piece to share with you guys. So I will see you guys in the next one, next Sunday. But please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and join the group, join the clan here on my channel. And I'm hoping that I'll have something else to share next week. But yeah, do take care, do find time to be creative and to have that discipline for yourself. As I always say, even if it's 10 minutes, allow yourself the space to introduce that into your life. And before you know it, it will expand, it will grow once you've planted that seed of time. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now. Bye.